It shouldn't be too surprising that the Nazi Zombie Army spin-offs for the Sniper Elite series have been rather popular. After all, pairing up the brilliant yet disgusting X-ray cam with the 4-player co-op gameplay in which you are slaying the undead masses comes across as a surefire recipe for success. So, with the creation of a third and final campaign, in which you will be taking out Zombie Hitler himself, developers Rebellion have decided to take all of the graphical and gameplay improvements from Sniper Elite 3, apply them to the 2 previous campaigns, and release it all as Zombie Army Trilogy. It's a watershed moment for developers Rebellion, as they are self-publishing the release on PC, PS4 and Xbox One for the first time. You can tell there was a sense of pride about it all as the team showed off the game to a crowd of press at the Prince Charles Cinema in Leicester Square, London, a venue famed for showing cult horror classics. 4 of the developers gave us a live demonstration on the big screen, showing us a bit of the third campaign and the newly added Horde mode. But after that, we were invited to get hands-on and see for ourselves why, regardless of whether you've played it before, Zombie Army Trilogy will be an important purchase for fans of co-op gaming. For the hands-on session, I and 3 others took on the first stage of the new campaign, starting off on a rooftop where we could get used to the controls and weapons. Little touches like shooting challenges can be found here, reminding us that despite the horrific scenario we were in, that there's a tongue-in-cheek feel to it all. Of course, the environment we were in was bleak, dark and downright apocalyptic, but we were told how there would be different palettes throughout the third campaign, including green forests and a jaunt through Hitler's mountain castle. Working our way down from the rooftop, we came across a few NPCs that we could interact with. It was here that we got our first side mission, a new addition for Zombie Army Trilogy to mix up the content for players should they wish to get a bit more out of their zombie slaying. Soon enough, it was time for us to head out and fight our way to the Resistance HQ, getting a feel for the action for the first time. Fans of Sniper Elite 3 will have no issues slipping back into the action, but newcomers shouldn't have too many issues either. Well, with the exception of melee being on the shoulder bumpers. During one firefight, I hit the wrong bumper and sent a grenade out flying unexpectedly. Thankfully, it ended up in the lap of a few undead, but I'm hoping there will be a few alternate layouts available. Otherwise, the carnage we caused as we made our way through the level was incredibly satisfying. With the exception of the handguns, the weapons felt like they had some serious weight to them. The shotguns in particular were effective in dealing with enemies, especially when it came to dismembering. Speaking of which, the new limb removal system was both effective and pretty gross, with zombies crawling towards me despite their legs being halfway down the street. Thankfully, the folks at Rebellion have added a new kick ability to stomp anything that gets too close. In fact, there was one point where I was just punting everything around me with gleeful abandon, the zombie that returned from a massive hole they just climbed out of being my favourite moment of that particular rampage. Upon arriving at the HQ, we got to see the world building Rebellion have done this time around. As we walked around, we came across potentially infected people locked up in cages, telling us that we smell delicious, resistance fighters failing to operate a stove properly in the kitchen, fighting giant flames shooting towards the roof, and there was someone who was painting the signs for the safe houses that you find throughout the game. Those are just a few examples, alongside more side missions, but it's all optional content that can be completely ignored if you're more about ventilating some zombie heads. I do have a word of warning though, don't shoot the friendly survivors. They don't like it, and they will instantly raise the alarm to everyone else in the base, as my group found out. I was casually making my way through the briefing room when all of a sudden the radio guy turned on me. I heard an uh-oh from the guy sitting across from me, and it was just a complete bloodbath, with all 4 of us having to restart from the previous checkpoint and sheepishly make our way to the exit. As we finally ventured outside, we came across our first defence section, holding the line as zombies swarmed us from all angles. It was here that the action was kicked up several notches, but we were given the tools to deal with it. Limited ammo piles gave us a fighting chance, MGs were mounted on top of the bunker for those in a no-nonsense mood, and the fences around us could be momentarily electrified. With everything to hand, the main aim may have well been survival, but it was really about getting those sweet, sweet score multipliers. With the current totals and rankings displayed on screen, there was this sense of competitiveness amongst us all as we fought the undead. Getting consecutive kills meant bigger scores, and there was something very satisfying about getting 16 kills with one grenade in the middle of all the chaos. Headshots from sniper rifles are still a thing of disgusting beauty, especially when the X-ray cam animates the course of the bullet going through the walking corpse. Of course, there are moments where the swarm did actually get the better of us, but I actually found that the timer to revive teammates was fairly forgiving, even in the hairier moments. As we got further into the level, we started to come across new enemy types, including ones wielding weapons, explosive kamikaze runners, and the super soldiers of horrifying death. We'd seen these machine gun toting enemies mow down the development team during a demo of the Horde mode earlier that day, and they were just as terrifying in our playthrough. In short, they decimated all 4 of us without a single care given. It also proved to me that it will take a serious amount of skill and cunning not only to make it all the way through the campaigns on the highest difficulty, but to conquer the Horde mode as well. I came away from the hands-on session with a positive view of what Rebellion have created with Zombie Army Trilogy, and I think a lot of that was down to the score attack mentality of the gameplay. By taking an arcade approach, it adds replayability beyond that of just simply beating the hardest mode, and when you consider that that applies to all 3 campaigns as well as the Horde mode, those who like their zombie slaying will no doubt enjoy Rebellion's repackaged nightmare. It's worth pointing out that if you own either of the previous releases on Steam, you will be entitled to a discount of 30% each towards Zombie Army Trilogy. I personally think it's a great gesture towards the existing fanbase, as the improvements applied to the game should give enough reason to revisit the old content, and then put down Zombie Hitler once and for all. Zombie Army Trilogy is releasing on PC, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on March 6th of this year. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to hit subscribe to stay up to date with our videos as they are published. But that's it for now, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.